Sonra kapatacaksın ama.
Mithat Alan Film Merkezi'ne öncelikle hoş geldiniz. British Council ve Boğaziçi Üniversitesi'nin işbirliğiyle Hitchcock 9 programı kapsamında İstanbul'a gelen İngiliz sinema yazarı ve gazeteci Ian Haydn Smith'i ağırlıyoruz.
Hello again, everyone. Hitchcock would constantly use, which is show, don't tell. If you can do something visually, cinema is a visual medium, then you shouldn't have the actors speaking. I'm going to show a sequence from The Man Who Knew Too Much. If you watch the films over the next week in Istanbul Modern, you'll see that Hitchcock loves using locations, specific locations, famous locations. Even though later in his career he became famous for really not enjoying filming on location and much preferred filming in studios. But this sequence takes place in London's Royal Albert Hall.
Went off all right.
It's almost like filmmaking 101, just a very easy way of understanding how you create technique, how you create tension. And by the fact that we see someone picking up the cymbals, because we know that fact that something's about to happen, it's like... Hitchcock was keen to allow us enough information about his characters to place us in a situation where we know the character's going to be in danger and we're going to feel a sense of tension. He understood completely how to create a sense of suspense. He actually glued the birds to the climbing frame because he couldn't get them all to stay on there. Apparently it was a kind of glue that they could easily get off the birds' claws, but it's kind of cruel. But it's a magnificent sequence, and I still think, even today, it has the power to shock. It's really great. I heard one person, and it always happens every time I show this clip, the moment you follow Tippi Hedren's eyes down onto our climbing frame as the bird lands and you see how many birds are on there, there's always one person who just goes, and it's fantastic. It's still shocking, and I think the whole film still has the power to shock. I want to end with one quick sequence, just to show that Hitchcock, like any other director, is fallible. He talked about a mistake that he made with Sabotage in 1936, allowing the bus to blow up, where he made one mistake in North by Northwest that he didn't actually realise until the night of the film's premiere in LA. So I'm going to show the sequence, and I'm just curious to see if anyone can spot the mistake, and then we'll show the sequence again.
Just a second, you.
Stay away from me. Let go. Let go. Stay away from me. Let go. Let go of me.
I saved her from the tears. You little fool.
Just stay away from me.
As the old saying goes, don't work with children and animals. When children, time and time again, have to work in the same scene, they're going to get bored. So rather than watch what happens in the centre of the screen, watch the little boy down here on the right-hand side of Eve Marie Saint's character. Just watch what he does, and you get a feeling that perhaps he knows what's about to happen.
Just a second, you.
Stay away from me. Let go. Let go. Stay away from me. Let go. Let go of me.
Save the friendly tears.
Just get back.
We can talk a little bit about the German influence directly seen in the lodger, and the way the lodger himself seems to be this vampire, Nosferatu, coming out of the shadows, maybe.
I think that's a good point, and I'm really glad that the lodger screened here today, because of all of these 9 Hitchcock films, I think that's the one that's most heavily indebted to German expressionism. He said. There's a British phrase, you have to take with a pinch of salt. You don't believe everything Hitchcock said. He was the most amazing self-publicist and loved. There's Hitchcock, the persona, and Alfred Hitchcock, the person. And not many people got to know Alfred Hitchcock, the person. You mentioned the MacGuffin, which is most, of all directors, it's most closely associated with Hitchcock. It's the thing that drives the story forward. Most of the time, it doesn't matter what it is. The best example of that is North by Northwest. The whole film is about the idea that there's this secret microfilm and everyone's trying to get their hands on it. If it's that important, shouldn't we know what it is?
You have to remember Grace Kelly is the star of the period.
Yes.
And everybody, all of these characters are copies of Grace Kelly.
You have a scene where Ingrid Bergman is drunk in a car with Cary Grant driving her, and he turns around and punches her full in the face and knocks her out. And no matter how many times I've seen the film, every time that moment comes on, I'm shocked. Because, first of all, you're like, this is Ingrid Bergman, you can't do that to her. But also, you can't do that to any woman, he adds quickly. But that's Hitchcock playing with us.
Why suspense?
I don't think he went looking for suspense, I think it found him. I think it's because of all the interests that he had, what fascinated him, what scared him. And I think that's the thing that drives us. No matter what we do, it's what we desire and what makes us frightened, what we are fearful of. And I think in our daily lives, that's absolutely what drives us.
Thank you very much for the talk and all the discussion, and thank you for the questions and for coming here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.